your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good to say I dabbled in stand-up for something. I haven't even disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr Podcast. We are streaming on Rockfin, Rumble, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. So if you like what you hear, leave a nice review with a lot of stars. You know the deal. I've got a very exciting guest tonight. But before I bring him in, I want to do a quick shout out to our sponsor. You know him. You love them. If you watched the Orlando Content House, you are certainly familiar with these guys. Ooh. That's right. I'm talking about Copy My Crypto. Food prices are insane, and people have begun to lose their homes. I can't with this music. Let's do this. Okay. But there's no reason to be scared because recessions are the easiest time to make money. Take the last recession. Those who invested in property and stocks more than doubled their money inside of 2 years. But no market rose like crypto, where people made 10, 50, even 100 times over the same period. That's what James McMahon did. On his Crypto with James YouTube channel, he told his 22,000 subscribers to invest in the same 26 coins that he did. Had you invested $100 into each one, you'd be in profit right now for more than $123,000. His topic of the year, a crypto coin called Phantom, went up a staggering 692 times. Remember, this is all public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify it for yourself. James will be sharing every coin he buys during this recession on his Copy My Crypto membership site. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing, who doesn't give you noogies. You don't have to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You don't have to know anything about finance. You can be a dumb communications major. You can just copy along. You can get started today. It's just that easy. To join the 2,800 members who copy James, go to copymycrypto.com/mayor. That's copymycrypto.com/MAYR. It's your call. You can thrive in this recession or be another victim. Go visit the site and read every word now. Ooh. Yeah. That sounds fun. How about we switch it up? Ooh, and we do our other shout out for our other ad read. Guys, the holidays are here, which means stress, anxiety, being around family members who test your nerves. Maybe your dad told you a few months ago that he had a gay experience and it's fucking with you. But guess what? Chrissie Dreams is here to help you with all your anxiety needs. They have these really great CBD pre-rolls in different strains like Relax, Create, Hustle, Peace, Energy, Dream, expertly rolled, very portable. The packaging is stellar. I personally really like the Peace strain. I have one in the bathtub. I have one like out on the porch, out the window if I'm really feeling stressed. And what's great is not only do they offer CBD flower, the number one smokable CBD flower. It helps sleep, relaxation, feeling good, all that stuff. But now they have gummies. That's right. Delta 9 THC gummies. These bad boys. I haven't said bad boys in 10 years. These are going to light your brain up like a Christmas tree, make you feel giggly and warm and fuzzy inside. And I hope I didn't drop it on the floor for the dogs. I don't think I did. Yes, that's Delta 9 THC. It's the real deal. OG THC. It ships legally to you. Each gummy contains 10 milligrams of THC. And they come in 4 euphoric flavors like strawberry, sour watermelon, green apple, and tangerine. Go to cushydreams.com right now. That's KUSHY dreams.com. At checkout, use promo code CMP to get 20% off your next order. Good on your first order, second order, etc. Get your gummies. Promo code CMP and get 20% off today. You deserve it. I'm going to check if there's none on the floor. No gummies on the floor. Go to cushydreams.com and get yourself a ticket to Relaxy Town. Okay, enough of this. Enough of this, Chrissy. What are you? I'm so excited to have this guy on the podcast. He is a content creator. He's a mysterious internet presence. He's crushing it on YouTube. And we're here to talk about his life. His life, his loves, his failures. No. Welcome to the show, that umbrella guy, or Tug, as some people call you.
Hey, how's it going? Hey there.
What a sexy voice. I was not prepared.
Oh, thank
for
you.
this.
Thank you. Hey, I that ad read, man. I was like, all right.
Oh my God. I'm like, I hope, is this helping or hurting the brands? Who knows? Oh my God. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I like when I can put a little bit of myself into the ad read. Like, for real, my dad did tell me, like, in May that he had a gay experience, and I'm not over it. I just, like, you know a person for 30 some odd years and they come out of left field with a new detail, and I'm still processing it. I don't know if your family is giving you stress or there's weird drama going on with your family, but I'm glad the holidays are here.
Yeah, I like the holidays when they get here, and I'm usually glad when they're gone.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
I
Yeah.
really get into wrapping paper. I really buy, like, kind of a concerning amount of wrapping paper and bows and stuff.
My wife is into like those gnomes, those Christmas gnomes. Those damn
Oh,
things.
really?
Yeah, they're everywhere in my house.
How many are we talking here?
We're talking like insane amounts. I'm like, I don't know. There are dozens of them around. I'm like, nowhere's safe.
Does she try to get one every year, or like every new place she goes? Like, you need to have
Pretty
a Florida
pretty
gnome.
much every year, she'll buy a couple here and there, and then they've just compiled. They're everywhere. But I mean, they're everywhere. I went in the bathroom the other day. I was like, not here too.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You turn around, there's one like holding toilet paper for you. Jesus.
I mean, there's nothing like a little Christmas midget in the bathroom staring at you.
Yeah,
Like, no, I
just
don't need
hire
it.
an actual midget.
Yeah. It's just, oh no, I don't need
Do you ever like try to throw out a couple sneakily?
it. No, I'd be afraid. To do that.
You're like, gnomes 27 and 35 are missing.
They probably have like the GPS in there.
Oh my God.
something.
Yeah. Find my gnome, my iGnome.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. There's an app right there.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm. Oh my God. So yeah, I've been kind of a fan / aware of you for many, many months now, and I think you're a really fascinating internet creature because I've interviewed a few other people before who kind of like hide their identity. Like Cat Turd is one that comes to mind, and it's so funny too because he has a very, I didn't know what to expect when I had him on because it's a cat. It's literally a cartoon cat.
Right.
And then he comes on, he's got this very Southern voice, and he's just like basically an everyman. And then who else? There was maybe, Cecil, I don't know if he really counts because he'll sometimes drink too much and take his hat off. And then he's done his own face reveal
Yep.
a few times here and there. But I just want to know what led you into creating content on YouTube. What led you to keeping your identity secret? I just want to hear the origin story.
Well, I started making content because of comic books. Actually, I came out of the comic book field. Man, the state of that industry is a mess. I thought like, hey, just a message on quality. Quality up. Calling people Nazis down just a little bit. That would be nice.
When did you notice it started to go down?
2017 is when it got really, really bad.
Was it one particular like franchise or?
That's the hierarchy of Marvel. Actually, they took down entire brands. They were they were making terrible business decisions. But I actually tracked. So there was the third largest company. They provide all of their numbers, and you could track them in real time. They went from being profitable to, I mean, they're losing millions every quarter now. And I mean, you could track it like I said, in
Whoa,
real
that
time.
much?
Yeah.
Holy
And
cow.
I mean, yeah, a $50 million company losing millions a month. Well, they don't last very long. They're on the way out. I mean, I've been watching them since I started, but I started there, and then I got into the due process type false accusation cases that I've been looking at.
You called it deprocess?
A due process.
Due process. I was like, is there a term I don't know about? Like the name of a porn, deep process, and it's just a bunch
Yeah.
of layers.
Wow. Yeah.
The due and due process.
Yeah, well, people are denied due process. That's really what it is. They're tried by internet, and that isn't justice. I mean, I understand why people are frustrated with judicial system, but at the same time, the social media lynch mob is just not the way to go.
It is pretty crazy. It seems unfair is not even a fair way to put it, but like just unbelievable that we live in a time where they don't even have to be right. Just the noisiest, most upset, most offended people get to create the story of somebody online, get to be in charge of the canceling, or at least lead the mob in a sense. And
They have
I
a
think that's
body
why
cam.
people were so drawn to the Johnny Depp case.
Yeah, people people had seen some of the things that were being said too. They'd been fed this story for over half a decade. I mean, this was a 6-year process that came up, and it didn't match up with what they saw in the courtroom at all. But I mean, these people have an actual body count. I mean, they do, and it doesn't slow down. I thought, well,
You mean
maybe when
death, right? Not
yeah,
sex.
yeah. I mean, very much a death. One of the main people they love to bring up is Zoe Quinn accused a guy, and after she accused him, 2 days later he killed himself. And you can very much disprove everything about her accusations, but it didn't matter. Dude knew his life was burned down, and he
Who
ended
was
his life.
she? I'm not
Zoe
familiar with
Quinn,
that.
she's brought up in all of the Gamergate conversation, but she's in everything. She actually worked with DC Comics with Warner Brothers. They brought her on to brand, and she's branded into every conversation. But
Wow.
she accused a game developer of holding her prisoner and all these other crazy things, and her tweets from that time period, they disproved it. She was like, oh, he wouldn't let me go anywhere, and she had public tweets saying, hey, I'm going to go down and practice my theater or whatever. But I mean, like I said, the guy ended his life.
Was this around the Me Too era?
Yeah. There are a lot of people that cashed. They definitely cashed in, and I mean, we've seen so many examples in entertainment. It got to the point I used to cover them as they came in, and it got to the point where there were 2 accusations a day minimum coming out of entertainment. If you count comic books, movies, whatever, and it just
Comedy too. Even like low level people. I was noticing
Yep.
like just my fellow open micers. I'm like, who are you? Nobody. Oh, I'm getting fingered in a basement. It's like, you shouldn't have got drunk in that basement. That's not a me too. That's a me you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's like your own bad choices.
Yep. There's a lot of that. I mean, there is, and I'm not saying like some of these accusations, they do turn out to be real. You do have some legit people in there, but I think that's another side to it's not just false accusations where it burns down someone's life. They're victimized, but it takes away from people who have truly been victimized because nobody wants to believe them.
When did you what case, I guess, first sparked your interest in covering these false accusations?
Vic
Yeah.
Mignogna, actually,
Vic! Oh
yeah,
my God! I love Vic. I
yep.
just met him for the first time in Orlando for the Geeks and Gamers meetup, but I've been hearing about him for months because I'm friends with Anna and she's friends with him and been singing his praises. She's like, "Oh, you got to interview this guy. You got to interview this guy," because I love talking to people who have people tried to cancel them or who are just mega misunderstood. And he checks all the boxes.
Oh yeah, 2019. I mean, it kicked off, and I mean they still go after him. But his accuser, it was the easiest case to disprove. And yet it's just like just like a Depp case. It doesn't matter what the truth is. There's still plenty of people out there that are, they're listening believers. They're like, oh, proof, who cares? It doesn't matter.
So you first heard about Vic's case, and I don't know every detail, but I know just like people were trying to Me Too him, basically.
Yeah. So there were about 4 people that mainly. I mean, there were a lot of people that covered, but 4 main people. You had Yellow Flash, Ricada, Hero Hay, and myself. We all covered. We went to like Anime Matsuri. We paneled over there, and
Have those people seen your real face? Like, do you have a?
Yeah. Actually, my real
Okay.
face has been exposed all
Oh.
places like the. One of the
Wow.
reasons that.
How anticlimactic.
Yeah,
I guess I just haven't like put 2 and 2 together yet. Maybe I've seen your face. I just didn't know it was you.
I don't think we've been at the same places before yet. Yeah.
Okay. Have you been photographed a lot with your face out?
No, I've not really been photographed at
Okay.
all yet. Some people found I work in mental health. I'm a therapist. Well, actually, I do some other things behind the scenes these days for mental health. But
Are you a
people
pill
found
guy?
do
I
what?
need a
Sorry?
new pill guy.
No, not a pill guy. No, I'd be afraid I'd end someone's life doing that. No, I'm the talk therapy guy. That
Oh,
you
wow.
get with the other with the other people that give you your pills. So yeah.
That's great. That's actually a really wonderful job and something I feel like I might have wanted to go into if comedy didn't like happen,
It's rewarding, but oh man, I worked with little kids. Like one of the things that made these cases real for me is I've worked with people who have been through these issues. And those words, when we throw around like we call someone a pedophile, for example, that has a real world connotation, a real meaning. And it's a terrible thing, especially, when you've sat across from kids that have been through that. You've tried to help them put it back to. Yeah. So I mean, I'm Vic Mignogna was called stuff like that. And I was
That's
like,
horrible. And you meet him and he's one of the nicest, like most kind of loving, full of joy, just open, like he's a special person.
Yep. He was not guilty for sure. He never even got. The problem with his case is he ran into anti-slap laws. He never even got to meet his accuser in the courtroom because they
Anti-slap?
Yeah, they said it's free speech. Basically, they said, "Oh well, calling someone a sexual predator, that's free speech." Hey, raw. So, yeah, he didn't even get in there. But it still cost you, I think $200 and something thousand just to get to that point. So
yeah, and still he has appearances that are canceled.
Oh yeah, every time he pops up, these people brigade against him. I mean, they're in it for life. That's one of the problems that a lot of us suffer from in a society where it pays monetization. It pays to move on from whatever, what's the hot topic, move on from topic to topic to topic and do it quickly. The people you cover, they don't get to move on. So, I mean, if you don't stick with them somewhat, like a Vic Mignogna, once they're out of the spotlight, they have to deal with these wackos. These people never move on.
Yeah, it's similar with comedy too. Sometimes it's people who are other comedians, or are they jealous? Are there people who, thought maybe they could have gotten into the industry, or they think they're funnier than you, or they could be doing what you're doing. It's like, it's a whole mess of feelings, I guess. And you try to like have grace for these people, but I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the cost of being a public figure, right? Like no one's forcing you to be out in public, performing. So
I don't know. Like they call all of this. Like I've got a channel, got 400,000 subscribers. So I guess I'm a public figure, but all I wanted to do was have a voice, to say, hey, these are problems here. I want to talk about that. And for that, I mean, you've had your taste of stuff. I've seen your swattings and
yeah. Oh my God. I like that. That's what I'm known for.
Hey.
It's nerve-wracking because you see it happen to other people and you hear stories. And
Yep.
somebody told me the other day that one of he's a Twitter personality, Ian Miles Chong, like what he was most known for initially was like he swatted somebody and got their dog shot.
Yep.
So it's no joke. And then there are people who have been swatted who are like, oh, it's no big deal. Just get on with your life. Oh, it's just a few cops. And I'm like, yeah, it's a few cops if you just open your door in time. But if you don't open your door in time or you don't hear them or nobody opens, like they can full on bust in. And people have been killed. And, when it happened to me twice in 14 hours or so
Saw that.
because somebody didn't like somebody that I was interviewing, and it was shocking. You think, and I hesitated to like give my local cops the heads up just because I was like, I don't think I'm big enough. But meanwhile, the people that I had on who their haters got me swatted. It's like they're even smaller than me, so it's like ultimately size doesn't matter, ladies. You can get swatted at any size. And fortunately, the cops were cool, and now they all know my deal. And I guess I have to. Do you send them a fruit basket? Like what do I have to send them a Christmas gift? I guess I do.
I go down. I keep communication with ours.
Yeah.
We've been there before. We had CPS show up the last time, so that was our last
Oh,
one.
wow.
Yeah. We had Child Protective Services workers show up. I was like, oh crap, that's not fun. They have more power than any government organization, really. And I mean, they aim at your kids. These people play for blood. I mean, the people that we deal with, you sit here and you logically break something down and you say whatever, but people on the other side of that, they like I said, they play for blood. They want to ruin your life.
True. But at the same time, there are a lot of CPS people who know that they're coming out for bullshit a lot. Like it'll just be parents feuding and they'll call CPS on each other. So a lot of the times, like, they know it might not be that serious, but it's still, when it's happening to you, it's I don't know, it's disheartening.
That's why I like knowing a lot of lawyers. I mean,
Yes, you do. You
yeah.
do consort with a lot of lawyers. In fact, a lot of your content, I was like, oh, this guy must have a law degree just because of the way you just really sound like you know what you're talking about, or you're able to make these boring documents like seem interesting and break them down when
Yeah,
it comes to like these cases.
I got a lot of lawyer friends. I've got some lawyers in family, but some of again, the nuance or detail in the courtroom, there may be certain moves that they make, but a lot of this stuff, I mean, when you look through it, a lot of it is common sense. A lot of it is boring too. Preparing for like the Depp case. I mean, that was 4 years maybe of reading documents. I mean, that's really what it boiled down to. So,
Oh. Was that the first case that you kind of covered that you got a lot of backlash from?
no, Vic Mignogna actually
Vic
got
was.
a lot of back. The media, the types of media, they did the same thing in these, but the Depp trial brought in the mainstream media. And I mean, I was talking to my mom one day. It was pretty funny. I was like, "Hey mom, I made the Washington Post." She was like, "That's nice." I was like, I made the Rolling Stone." She was like, "That's nice." I was like, "Hey, they're calling me a sexist." She's like, "Oh, that's nice." I was like, "Oh
And you're
shit."
like, what is it going to take for you to notice me, mom?
I thought it was
When is it going to be
hilarious, though.
enough?
I just never thought, like Washington Post and the Rolling Stone, although nowadays they're just a shadow of what they were, but still,
It's
it's
still
surreal.
exciting.
It's
What was
weird. I enjoy hit pieces. That means that means we're doing something right.
what was the context for being featured in the Washington Post?
Taylor Lorenz, she decided to come after me twice. Washington Post,
Ah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, she got mad because she came after myself and a few other people covering the Depp trial. Washington Post was a co-conspirator with in the Amber Heard case, so they weren't very happy. A lot of us, what we had to say. Well, when Taylor Lorenz came at us, she lied. She said that she had tried to make contact with us, and she didn't. So I posted about it. Well, that ended up making Fox picked it up at first, some other places. Well, Taylor Lorenz threw a fit about it, and then everybody picked it up. It was amazing.
Oh my God. All right. I have the article here. Oh boy. It's so funny. You should meet my friend Ariadna Jacob. She's also been
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
that
yeah.
scene from Mean Girls where it's like,
Mhm.
raise your hand if you've been victimized by Regina George. It's that, but like with Taylor Lorenz.
I've got nothing compared to Ariana. I mean, she's been through some messed up stuff. Yeah, so
This is
that
a
was her first
correction.
move. Yeah.
From June, Washington Post issues 2 corrections to Taylor Lorenz article that has already been stealth edited. The Washington Post has issued 2 lengthy corrections to an article by its notorious internet culture reporter, Taylor Lorenz. The piece, which had been already secretly edited after it was published on Thursday, detailed how content creators made out big. People were so mad that you guys made money off this. Made big in the sensational Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation lawsuit that ended last week. 2 YouTubers, Legal Bites host Elite Mazika and an anonymous user named That Umbrella Guy, were singled out in the article. And then they go on to say, oh, this is how much everybody made. I don't know how they figure that out, but
they just went and looked at, well, on Social Blade's not right, by the way. I just blatantly say
Yeah.
that. But Social Blade, it actually says I made between $3,000 and $60,000, and they were like, "Oh, 60,000,
that's a
that sounds
range.
good." Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they're never right though. I mean, they're never right because they can't factor in live streams. They can't factor in. I mean, I don't deny. I find it to be ugly, gauche a little to
It is
brag about how much
gauche.
money you make. Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't
say
brag
that
about.
word enough, but
I
gauche.
know, I like that word. I like
It
it
sounds like douche.
Uh,
You're being a real gauche bag right now.
a gauche
Mazika,
bag.
that umbrella guy, claimed Lorenz never reached out to them prior to publication of the story. Lorenz also made a second error, wrongly attributing a statement to Depp's rep, Adam Waldman.
No, she said Adam Waldman slid into their DMs. I mean, she made it sound creepy. I was like, oh, that's really weird. It sounds like he's going to send me like a D pic
Dick
or
pic.
something.
A D pic. Yes.
Yeah.
Or just a picture of an umbrella. I'm sure you get that a lot.
Actually, like I was telling my wife was talking about her Instagram account. She was like, you know how many people send me dick pics, and I was like, you know how many people send me dick pics? You have no idea.
Not enough.
Uh,
Come on, guys. A little help in the chat. Follow
uh,
umbrella guy. Yeah, I don't know.
that's
Chick. I don't know what her
hilarious.
deal is.
But she
Seems
wrote,
like
okay, so she got really mad about this, and she wrote a second article, and that second article was just a flagrant hit piece, and it was for me. She highlighted me. So basically, she went in and was like, YouTube has all these problems. They started a long time ago. She goes through all these names that have been supposedly victimized. She said, but it really got bad with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and the worst person there is this dude, that umbrella guy. And she kept referring to me by my real name, and that I live in Tennessee. I was like, well, shit.
wow, what an
Yeah.
asshole. She keeps doxing people.
Yeah, that's what she wants to do damage. I mean, you saw what she did with Liz at TikTok. Although, as I've said many times, she doesn't have the stones to come to my door and ring my doorbell because my doorbell reloads. I live in the South.
I got one of those reloading doorbells.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's so much easier to be a keyboard warrior, of course.
Yep.
Damn, this girl, she seems like just a real problem for so many people. And she never reached out to you at any point for anything.
Well, she did the second time, not in the first article, but she reached out the second time. The first time she was like, can you confirm, do you want to respond to the claims that you're a sexist and a misogynist and all this shit? I was like, yeah, ha, ha. So I made a video and laughed at her. And then she wrote me back, and she, instead of being like umbrella guy, she used my real name across the top of it. So, she's basically saying, oh, we're going to dox you in that. I was like, do it. Who cares? I mean, my name, you could find me. I didn't start this stuff to hide my identity. Actually, I wanted people to focus on what I said. So, I didn't put my face on there. Now, I'd never thought, because, when you start out, you don't think you're going to, you don't think in terms of subscribers, or at least I didn't. I didn't think about that. I just wanted to say something, and it stayed that way for the longest time. Doxing wasn't fun. But on the other side of it, it's pretty liberating to be able to do whatever the hell you want. Yeah.
What is, God, like, I guess you feel like it's a net positive? I was gonna say, like, what was the worst thing to come out of being doxxed, but sounds like you're ultimately okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, we went. We had our swatting attempts. We had our CPS attempts. We've had weirdos come to our small town and try to weaponize our police too in person. There was a
Jeez.
guy who did a live stream where he played something where he talked to our mayor.
Wow.
It's so weird.
This is
It
because you cover trials on YouTube.
you know, and I make fun of assholes. Like if they, if they want if they want something, like I will respond to them. I do monetize haters too. That's what they really hate. They hate, like you said, they hate that you make money. So if they come in, I make them till those fields. I'm gonna make my money off them.
Go milk the cow. Yeah,
Yep.
you're the cow. Yeah, I'm gonna milk you. Damn. That is okay. So you also have like a regular day job while doing all this. That's
Yep.
pretty neat. I respect that because that was me like for years up until this past like last December. Really, this is the first year I haven't had a day job. So it was always like a dream and a goal to like just do comedy and podcasting full time. And I got kind of pushed out of the nest because my corporate job basically like fired me when I wouldn't get the vaccine. So I was like, well, here we go. I guess we're doing this now.
I mean, I think about it sometimes. I'm like, dealing with we service the poorest population. So we deal with Medicare, Medicaid, and we deal with TennCare and all the, stuff. And man, some days I'm like, screw this. I'm just gonna go and talk about trials and live stream all the time. But you never know what YouTube or these brands will do either. I mean, I could wake up tomorrow and they've demonetized my channel, and then, well, I'm shit out of luck. So
Frank wants to know why umbrella. Why call yourself that umbrella guy?
There's no awesome story behind it. I had another name and I can't remember what it was, but when I first started my channel, it was just
That
a
shoehorn
placeholder
guy or like something
No,
else
I don't even
functional?
remember what it was. I'd have to look it up. I don't even remember anymore. But I used to get free products from Amazon, and I would do like short video reviews on Amazon. I mean, you get some awesome shit from Amazon like
Really?
that. I
Like
would
what would
get
you
a
get?
projector. I got a home projector system at one time, laptop, and you're trading paragraph, like a few paragraphs, and maybe a small video. So I mean, it's pretty nice, $1,500 projector versus. But I would notice that people would steal those videos, put them on YouTube, and try to scam with them. So I put up a placeholder channel, and I would upload the video on Amazon, and that way, it's my material, and these scammer sites, they can't use it. I can claim it, knock it down. But anyway, you would see my hands in them, and I have an umbrella tattoo. And some guy who hated my
Oh.
content, some guy who hated me though, he was like, "Oh fuck, it's that umbrella guy again." I was like, "Yeah, that umbrella guy, that's good." So
Okay, that umbrella guy again.
yeah.
Why did you so you got the tattoo first and then the nickname, or the other way around?
Yeah. Well, it was, I've had the tattoo on my hand. I'm a Resident Evil fan, and I don't know. I've always liked the JFK conspiracy stuff. So
Okay. I thought maybe
yeah.
it rains a lot where you lived and you're forgetful, just like a
I do own a lot
reminder.
of umbrellas actually. My wife's like, "Yeah, that's neurotic." So
That's so funny. My sister was on an umbrella kick like in college. Like she gained a lot of weight, and I was like, "Why do you have so many umbrellas?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, umbrellas always fit." Like, and it's if you feel like shopping. She just had a lot. I'm in a real mood today about my family. Okay, Armagod says, Chrissy, would you smash Elon? If I were single, sure. I mean, I've definitely smashed worse for less.
Yeah, I mean, that wallet alone, geez,
Yeah.
for Heard, man, he bought her that ambassadorship with ACLU, $6 million he gave ACLU just to buy that for her. So that was, so
Right,
hell
because
yeah.
he was going to like take care of her donation.
Yeah, he offered to take care of donations, but he helped. So the ACLU, the whole lawsuit was built off of an op-ed that was wrote. The ACLU made contact with Amber Heard behind the scenes. It was like, hey, we want to go after the orange man. Well, when we do that, we want to weaponize Johnny Depp's name. We want you to do this with us. So they conspired on an op-ed behind the scenes. And Elon Musk is, if not the biggest donor of the ACLU, he's one of the biggest donors. They've called him their biggest donor before online.
Wow.
I never thought I would be like a fan of what I'm seeing from Elon Musk. Like, I mean, he's been into some nasty stuff with Heard in the past, and I was like, oh man, that's just slimy. But
What some people think that he's actually the father of her child.
yeah, there was a lady that was really good friends with her and her family. Actually, she was really good friends with Amber Heard's sister. She gave a declaration that was pro Johnny Depp, though, because of, again, not getting into everything in that, but she talked about the mother of Amber Heard, who had a lot to say about Elon
Mama
Musk.
Heard.
Yeah, and one of the things she said was that he was in a lawsuit with Amber Heard over embryos that they had fertilized. He didn't want them, and she wanted to keep them.
What?
Yeah, and then that baby
I'm just
popped up.
picturing. I'm picturing her jerking him off in the middle of the night with like a cup. Like, shh, don't wake up.
She probably didn't wake him up. She was probably did it.
Runs off with it. Oh man. Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, in the timeline, it's fascinating because it does fit up. I mean, there's a lot of oddity there. So I personally do believe, and there's a few sources that have come forward and said, they've confirmed this with fertility banks and other things, but
so she's set for life. Like, she's good. She doesn't have to work another day, do anything.
Well, it's weird though, because when Elon took over, she bailed on Twitter. She actually
did.
bailed. Yeah. And all of
She
her
deleted her account days after he took over.
And all of her main simps, like her main people that are tied into her PR or her girlfriend at the time, those people were going hardcore after Elon Musk. And
wow,
it was kind of surprising,
Did they think, like, why would she dip off Twitter? What, she thinks Elon's gonna just go through all her DMs?
I don't know. That's actually a very good question, but you can tell that there is something on the outs that happened, and it happened within the last year because Elon was making public statements about this trial. He was actually defending Amber Heard. He defended Amber Heard while he was in the hospital with his baby with God, I can't remember
Grimes.
Singer's. Yeah, with Grimes. So he was in the hospital when she had her baby, just had it, and he's sitting on his phone talking about how he's going to cage fight Johnny Depp. So
wow,
yeah.
You can't tame Elon. Someone in the chat, wow, what a hoe.
Yeah, well, she there's actually there are crazier stories out there. I mean, much crazier about blackmail and other stuff, but I don't know. I like
Are they public? I mean, like, have you done videos on them?
Yeah, there's a lady that goes by House Inhabit, and she does one of those Substacks, and she went through this whole scenario of where a source told her about their relationship with Amber Heard and Elon Musk. So a three-way relationship, and just the insanity in it. It was, man, it was pretty crazy.
You don't want to be in an old, they call it the old Tesla three-way. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, like, he's Elon. He can do whatever he wants. Like, of course.
Yeah, and we know for sure that he was in another three-way relationship with Amber Heard. He was in with that Cara Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne?
Delevingne, yeah.
And she comes from mega money, like mega old family money.
Yeah, so she was confirmed to be in a relationship with Muskie and
right,
Amber
because
Heard.
Amber Heard was like, she's like, I don't know, pretty bisexual. What does that even mean? Like, a lesbian who wants to have a baby. I don't know. It's hard to determine. Like, is it 60-40, 50-50? She's dabbled.
I don't think she's bisexual. I think she's bisexual. She's into women and men with wallets. Yeah.
Whoever buys me stuff, I will be sexual towards you.
Well, I think she's into women, and I think she's into men's wallets. I think that's the reality.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, you got to admire the hustle. But she sucks.
I mean, Hey, people get what they want out of that. I don't mind I don't I don't mind that someone puts that together. What I mind is, again, weaponizing. God, that Me Too movement. Oh, she weaponized it and helped damage it pretty badly.
Yeah, a lot of people were really surprised. I think even might have been Nick who said at the beginning of the trial he did not see it going well for Johnny, just because he said it's so hard to win defamation cases.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it would go well. I knew I'd seen Amber Heard testify. She actually had to do video depositions in 2016, and she's terrible. She can't act. So you knew she was going to overact. She kept embellishing her stories over the years. So you knew. Now, I had no idea it would go as bad as it did, but I knew it would go bad.
My dog stepped on a beat.
I mean,
forever memed.
I just all this stuff, like taking crap on his bed. He is his
I almost forgot the shitting on the bed. Of course, blaming it on the little dogs.
Well, the housekeeper actually has a declaration where she talks about finding it. That is the best.
No.
Yeah,
Poor
so
Esmeralda.
Hilga Vargas is her name, actually.
Oh, Hilga.
Yeah, Hilga. So she and this other lady, they found it. I mean, it's the funniest freaking document I've ever read.
Hilga. So what is she, German? She's like, I thought it was chocolate, but it was not.
But she talks about going in and, there she's cleaning and she hears the other house cleaning lady that's there. She hears her, she's startled. She's like, so she runs in and they've pulled back the covers and there's shit in the bed.
In the bed, not on. I pictured on top of the bed.
Oh,
I
it's
pictured
under
a
the
made
cover.
bed.
Under the cover. Yeah.
Right, because when she went to go make it, she had to. Ugh.
Yeah, that's messed up. I mean, getting even with people, in no way in my life would I ever think, man, I'm going to.
What did the housekeeper do to you? You know what I mean? Like, why do that? That's so poorly planned out. Like, what do you think? Johnny Depp's over making his own bed?
Exactly.
Jeez.
I don't know.
What a hot mess.
I'm of the conspiracy. I'm of the conspiracy theory that she was going to murder him, but then
think what, claim self-defense or something?
Yeah. So there's a conversation, there's a text message that always stuck with me. You got to remember, behind the scenes, she's telling people, this guy's beating me. He's doing all these horrible things. Right. Well, she has having a text message discussion with a really good friend of hers. She has her best friend, the fiance of her best friend. Then they live across the hall. They live rent free in like a $2 million freaking penthouse. So Amber Heard's telling them all the time, Johnny's beating me.
Where do they live? Like, where is this taking place?
This is in the Eastern Columbia building in California. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a nice, you can look up the place. I mean, they're nice. They're very nice. So there's a text message relay where Amber Heard's talking to this guy. His name's Josh Drew. She's talking to him, and he, at the end of it, he says, hey, when you're talking to him, why don't you bring those? Now, you could tell with those, obviously, she knows what he's talking about. They laugh, and he says, well, I've got a new one. And he sends her pictures of knives. He's telling her, hey, why don't you bring knives to the conversation? And a lot of people laugh that off as,
what?
Ha-ha. Yeah. So a lot of people are like, haha, that's just a joke. And I was like, yeah,
No one jokes about that. Like,
no one who says I'm being abused behind the scenes, I'm being beaten, and, I'm trying to convince them. It sounds like a Lifetime story. But
yeah, just leave. Your conversation should be like, how are you leaving? How are you getting away from this person? How are you move? Is it in the middle of the night? How are you packing up your shit and leaving? Because that's what you should be doing if someone's abusing you.
But at the time, Depp was worth $600 million. So, So I mean,
she's thinking, how do I stay in this?
Yeah. She's
how
married
do I
to him.
Juice this lemon.
Yeah, I mean, she's married to him, and something terrible happens. She gets all that money, but then he ends up having a partner, or the financial company that's keeping that. They embezzle his money. They stole almost all of it, and I think that probably saved his life. Actually, who would have thought?
He just didn't have as much money.
Yeah, I mean, nowhere near. I mean, he had some real financial problems for a hot minute, because they left him not only embezzle his money, but they didn't pay the taxes on it either.
Wow.
Yeah. So
let's never get famous and deal with all that.
What a terrible thing to only have like 3 or 4 mansions. I don't know. I'd be willing
Yeah.
to try on $600 million, for a little while.
What would be the first thing you'd upgrade?
Ugh. It's sad to say I would upgrade. It's terrible because I'd live like I like where I live. I like my home. I like my vehicles. Right when you said that, I thought, well, I would upgrade this stupid microphone I'm talking on. That's terrible. That's true.
You could upgrade it for not that much.
Yeah. I don't know. I would probably just run around the world. I mean, I'd still live stream and shit, but I'd probably run around the world and do whatever I wanted to.
Strap a camera to your head. Yeah, just go
Yeah,
nuts.
for real.
And
It's
you-
just like
and you-
now. I would strap a camera to my head and do shit, but it would be a lot better. I'd probably have a sound team or something with me too.
Yeah, I would just like buy a bunch more dog. I would just like buy a dog farm or something.
Dog farm.
Just buy a bunch of land and then like get a bunch of dogs.
Well,
I haven't thought it through past the dogs,
What
honestly.
about in Tennessee? I got enough land around me, so I feel set there.
That's good.
Yeah, I feel pretty good on all that.
Wow, Amber Heard.
It's a
Wow,
crazy
I
story.
feel like someone like Elon has to be so, like he on the surface you're like, oh, he seems like a really smart guy. He's making moves. He's crushing it. But like someone like him, I feel like is so, and Johnny Depp too, so vulnerable to having like a crazy bitch come in and ruin your life.
Well, everybody, especially an Amber Heard type. So everybody looks at, the first response everyone has is she must be good in bed. No, she's got to be
Mhm.
even better. When somebody chops off your finger, this happened to Depp, chopped off the
Oh,
finger
right.
and put a cigarette on his face. So he had a cigarette put out on his face. The media never focuses on that really. But
You
yeah,
ever have puss so good you're willing to lose a finger over it? I don't know.
No. She's got to
I'm
be
not a
something
dude.
else.
Yeah.
So one of the experts there, one of the mental health professionals, diagnosed her personality type, and the manipulator, the type, I could very much see that. I could see, and that's the kind of person that would find your vulnerabilities, find whatever that hole is there, and figure out how to make you think you're the only person that can fill that.
Oh, yeah, like love bomb you. Just like get into your head, really.
Yeah. And then deny you of those things. It's the same shit that you see like a street pimp do. It's the same type of personality. They find people because everyone's vulnerable in a certain way. They just find that vulnerability. They
Wow.
latch on and I mean, we're all fucked up a little bit inside, and
Yeah.
some people are preying on that very well.
And like, yeah, just because you are rich and famous and internationally recognized actor, it's like, yeah, you still can be vulnerable to Amber Heard. Yikes.
I think even more because like you got somebody behind the scenes beating on you. If you're casting all these hyper masculine roles, are you going to go forward and be like, hey, Amber Heard's beating me. She's doing all of these things to me.
Right. And
then
sometimes guys don't have they have guy friends, but they're probably less likely to talk about their problems. Like,
I don't even like my wife was asking me about, so I talked to Flash, like I consider like Yellow Flash a friend, like a real friend. We don't live stream together.
he's
but
also a face hider, although I have
Yeah.
met him and seen his face.
Yeah, I've met him too. When we were drinking way too much. Oh God, he and Ricada Law. My God, man, I just I'm not equipped for that. I'll drink, but ooh, man.
What do
Like,
they drink and what do you drink?
Well, we were at Bubba Fest, and I don't know what I was drinking at the time, but it actually had 2 shots in everything, and I'd consumed like 5 of those. I was
Oh,
like, whoa. Well,
is that in
Flash
Houston?
was hammering them too, and so I was like, I got to check out. It was about 1, I think, or so, and he and Ricada went and they drank all night long into the morning, and Ricada couldn't even. He came to the convention. He was like, I'm too hungover for this, and had to leave.
Oh no. How did you meet those guys? Just through going to the conventions?
No, streaming. I mean, it's just I Yellow Flash. Yeah, I hit a music. My kids brought a music box down here. I just hit it. You could hear it come on. But
Oh.
Yeah, they for some reason they little kids will leave you gifts. I've got a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old,
They're
so
like
they leave you.
cats. Yeah,
Yeah,
dogs. Sometimes a
yep,
dog will bring in a sock.
yeah.
Mm,
Except they don't bring you like dead pigeons or anything. Well, not yet.
yeah.
But no, I met them when I started out. Actually, I met Yellow Flash because he covered the same type of content I covered. I ran into him when we had less than 1,000 subs. Both of us did, and I ran into Ricada around the comic stuff, but I got to know Ricada better, I guess, around the Vic Mignogna coverage.
Okay. Was he covering it too?
Yeah. He was one of the 4 main people. Actually, he was the main person in the Vic Mignogna coverage. He was the go-to guy.
And there wasn't like a trial or anything per se. It just was following the activity.
Yeah, well, he knows the lawyer that Vic Mignogna got. He put together a GoFundMe first of all for Vic Mignogna,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, I did raise like $250,000, I think, which sounds like a
Oh
lot,
my
but it
gosh.
yeah, but it
Probably
didn't go.
froze.
It ate it up fast. But anyway, the lawyer for Vic Mignogna was friends with him, so he would have all this exclusive stuff. He would come on and talk to him. Actually, his lawyer, Ty Beard, that I props to him too. That guy, when CPS came to our home, like Ty Beard, I'd talked to Ty Beard before, and I had picked him up as my lawyer for that, and he dealt with them, and it was nice. I love him. He's a classic Texas lawyer. He's got that that robust voice and everything. And oh shit,
But
it's
please tell me he was wearing a cowboy hat.
I imagine like when I saw him, he actually went to Anime Matsuri in 2019. We all paneled there, and he wasn't wearing a cowboy hat then, but I mean, he fits the role so well.
That's cool. That's awesome. That's what's really great is like you could meet people streaming that you bond with and become closer to than like people you've known your whole life and you have more in common with. And
It's
thanks,
funny, though.
internet. Yeah.
I don't know though. It's funny though. Like my wife was asking, so I forgot I had a point to the Flash thing. So my wife was asking, like, "Hey, what about Flash's family and stuff?" I was like, "I don't talk about that shit." You were saying guys don't talk about it. I was like, "I don't know anything about his family. I don't talk about that stuff." We're talking about like comic books and bullshit that's going on. I don't talk about if you had a problem and you wanted to talk about that. So people, you were saying like a Johnny Depp, talking to his friends. A lot of his friends did know what was going on, but a lot of them had no idea how bad it was. Some did, but Depp, he sounds like, hey, you see a lot of abuse victims that, again, somebody finds a way to manipulate you, and he has all of the classic signs, symptoms of somebody in
Ooh,
an abuse
what were the
relationship.
signs? Because to me, he seemed like kind of cool, calm, collected. And
No, I mean, he seems trapped. Like you look at the the Heard's defense and their experts talked about his drug use. He's always used drugs, but his drug use skyrocketed during the time she was there. Well, okay, he's actually being cut off from a lot of the world even more. Like she cut him off from so many of his friends. I talked to a lot of friends of
damn, and like
his.
that's like a guy. That's what guys do. I just think that's crazy that a woman is capable of that.
Yeah, well, it shows like guys don't talk about this kind of stuff, because again, so many guys. If you ask a guy, "Hey, you got a crazy ex story?" Most people do, but if you ask a female that, oftentimes the crazy ex story, it involves a word, abuse. Men oftentimes won't add that because it makes them look weak, and I mean, they'll go through a lot of shit and they'll hide it. It doesn't make you look masculine, so.
It's hard to be a guy.
No, I don't know. I'd rather be a guy, honestly. I'd rather deal with being a guy.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has all the hallmarks, right? Because and he's doing more drugs because he wants to escape the
He's
situation he's in.
You could see like they played a video of him hitting some counters, like slamming a counter where she's taping him secretly, and you can tell she's
That
gaslighting
shit
him.
I can't that is so icky to me. The fact that people are taping each other secretly.
Yeah, and it actually should have been, it's illegal there too, I mean, we were talking about a one-party or two-party consent state, but hey, she drove him to the point. So he there's a tape which she used in court where he has a knife and he's like, why don't you just cut my heart out? Why don't you just kill me? He's asking her, just fucking
Oh,
end it. Yeah. And she's like, no. And he's like, well, I'm going to do it. And her team's like, that's classic manipulation. I'm like, yeah. Or he's really talking about wanting to kill himself because she's fucking ruined his life.
he's just desperate.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
I mean, he is.
So sad.
Yeah. It's messed up. I mean, it's, it was a case that it resounded with where I still cover the aftermath. The fallout of it has been happening for 6 months.
So now she's appealing it, right?
Yeah. But we're on the appeal right now. So, she's appealing the process. She's being sued by her own insurer. So she had insurance companies paying for it. Apparently you can pick up your homeowner's insurance and there's certain policies with that would allow defamation. They may cover you with some of that as well. Yeah. So she had insurance policies that were covering her bills. And then we were talking somewhere between $8 to $15 million spent on that trial. So they're now suing her. She has some of her lawyers. Like, it looks like they may speak out as part of that. I mean, it's fun to watch.
So you think this is a completely useless appeal? Like, what's the best case of scenario for her here?
Her argument, it's not going to fly. It was too high profile of a case too. There's no way Virginia is going to turn over that case. Worst case scenario for her is Depp also appealed, and part of her countersuit, she won 1 out of 3 claims. His lawyer made certain statements, and I think the jury made a concession. I think they had a holdout on their jury personally. And I think somebody on their jury was like, well, we got to give something to Heard. There's
she gets right. She got like one thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in those statements, I wonder, like, worst case scenario, Depp sweeps the board and wins everything. I mean, best case scenario, she could overturn and get a retrial, but that's not going to happen. I mean, she's got a weak argument. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, she's arguing stuff like, well, they found actual malice. Well, she says, I couldn't actually have done this willfully or harmfully, because even if you prove I lie, you have to prove my state of mind. And my state of mind, if I believed what I was saying. So, she's like, I listened and believed myself. It's like, what the kind of argument?
It sounds like a crazy person. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's entertaining.
It sounds like a fight you have with an ex-boyfriend, and you're like, why are we up till 4 a.m.? Can we just can you just let this go? Ugh. Wow. Were you watching that? I guess the trial of that guy who drove into the parade.
Oh, yeah.
And he was representing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I was like, I can't believe like the patience that this woman has, this the female judge. I was like, wow, this is testing everybody's patience. And he just sounds like a kid. He just sounds like a petulant teenager. It was insane. Yeah. I can't believe it was happening.
I couldn't believe, like, his family during victim statements, his family came out and basically blamed the world for the way that he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, well, you see where that came from, right? But yeah, I mean, he was funny to watch. I mean, you knew he was done anyway, but I mean, he
got like 100 lifetimes or something.
He deserved every one of them too. What a monster.
Right. It was like a lifetime for every, life, I guess, he killed. So sad. I mean, like, it's horrible, but like, yeah, that guy was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I like watching trials there. I'm trying to break down and watch the Casey Anthony. They did a mini series on her. Do you know who that is? Casey Anthony.
Wait, she's not the one that cut off the penis.
No, she's the one that killed her little girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was really high profile. So she,
yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that happened a while back. But Peacock,
confusing her with Lorena Bobbitt, which was big on Long Island, where I'm from.
All of those names, they were They were huge names at the time too. So I mean, you know, they all blend in together.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she got a Peacock series, so they're gonna. She's apparently blamed her father and her brother for sexual abuse and killing the kid. So I kind of want to watch it. I watched that trial back when, and she definitely killed that kid. There's no fucking question she killed that kid, but she got away with it. So
Oh, Jerome in the chat says Kim Kardashian wants to set her free. Oh, really? Wow.
Kim Kardashian.
Johnny, as a child, ran from his abusive mom. He never
Yep.
lashed out or confronted her. He'd leave the room. It carried over to his marriage. That makes sense because you
Yep.
are unconsciously trying to mirror what you had growing up because you think that's what love is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it very much did mirror his. He talked about his family, and there was actually there was a PI that Amber Heard hired to try to go up and dig dirt up on Johnny Depp, and he came back and said, "Well, you know, I couldn't find anything," but he did dig into his past, and he confirmed all of the stuff that Johnny Depp said about his childhood. You know, about his father and about, you know, mom and the situation that they were in. You know, the poverty. I mean, it was fascinating to see all of that confirmed.
Jeez. Okay, wait. Let's see. Kate, this is news about the Casey Anthony thing. Casey Anthony makes bombshell claim about daughter's death in first ever on-camera interview.
Mhm.
Oh boy, this came out today. Wow, it's been more than a decade since Casey Anthony's name dominated headlines around the country. Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies, a 3-part limited docuseries premiered yesterday on Peacock. Wow, it seems like they're just kind of glorifying it. In the series, Anthony maintains some of the claims her legal team made in her defense all those years ago, including that she was sexually abused by her father, George Anthony, and that he lied to cover up Kaylee's death. George Anthony previously denied both of those claims in court.
Yeah, well, she yeah, I'm sure he made her go out and, you know, party and shit for weeks after while her kid was, you know, in the ground. So I mean,
That's
yeah,
so
she was going to a
sick.
club. Yeah, that's fucked up. I'm a parent. I can't even let my kids out of my sight very well. You know,
Mhm.
like if I go somewhere or something, I can't imagine anything happening to them. I can't imagine just being so cold and callous that you can discard them like trash. And then,
There's got to be
you
something
know,
wrong with you. Yeah, it's like a mental deficiency. There's an illness there. There's like, wow. 6 months later, Kaylee's skeletal remains were found less than a mile from the grandparents' Orlando home. Wow. All right. Well, tune into Peacock. That's fucked up. I want some upbeat news. Okay, I'm
well,
planning a wedding, and let's see. So I like to see what's going on with other people's weddings. Florida catering firm are sued by wedding guests for $30,000 after they laced food with cannabis, causing severe permanent injuries. Bride and caterer charged after a meal sent several to the hospital. A caterer is being sued for suing serving food containing cannabis to wedding guests. A 76-year-old woman who was there is seeking $30,000 in damages, but she probably had a great time. Caterer Jocelyn Bryant allegedly prepared cannabis-laced pastas and breads. This is why it's always safer to be on keto. At least 8 guests were hospitalized. She allegedly did so in collaboration with the bride. Both were charged in April with delivering marijuana and tampering with food. Wow, I can't imagine.
that's why I don't do potlucks. I actually had a client that turned me off to
Puts
any
the
kind of
pot in
potluck.
potluck.
She really did. I had a client though that she had dodged going to prison because of a mental insanity plea, and she found out her husband was cheating on her, so she prepared food and she ground up glass in it, like very fine glass, and she fed it to
Whoa.
everyone where they worked. You know, yeah, and it. But I won't say she got away with it. You know, a lot of like shows make it sound
What
like,
did
oh,
she
you got
make? Like, what goes good with glass?
anything you could blend. You know, I mean, if
Ugh.
you powder it up enough. Apparently, I don't know how people found out about it, but they found out. I don't know if it was from injury in the aftermath or whatever. But yeah,
Wow.
but she gave it to. I was like, well, I get wanting to get even. I mean, it just sucked. Like she fed it to everyone at that company, not just those two people.
Say goodbye to your teeth.
Yeah, say goodbye to your insides. Good
Say
Lord.
goodbye to your insides.
Yeah.
You ever shit glass? Oh God.
I remember though, she she would come in and she was at one of the homes, that there's about 1% of the population that they get remanded to a home or something, and they were cooking, and she brought me in a muffin. She was like, "I made you a muffin." I was like, "I ain't eating that damn thing." I was like,
No.
"Oh, thank you," but I was like, no way.
Can't trust these bitches.
Yeah, don't know what's baked into that.
Yeah. They could be casting spells on you too. Some people do that. They put blood in food.
Ugh.
Ugh.
The pot thing sounds all right though. I mean,
This is Chef Jocelyn. I guess she corroborated with the bride. Oh, her southern kitchen. All right. Wow. Bride and groom grilled by police after she drugged the wedding guests. Oh my God. I mean, maybe at the engagement party I can understand, but the wedding itself,
I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would drug like again,
No,
the
you don't know.
76-year-old or anything.
No, like I get you want people to loosen up and have a good time, but like, yeah, you have no idea where people are at health wise, what they can handle. Like, just not like you could be fine, but just not knowing what the hell's happening to you, the anxiety of it, so much can screw you up.
I remember hearing about a wedding where somebody did that. They put LSD in. I can't remember what it was in. It was in some kind of drink or something, and that really caused some problems. I can't imagine that. Tripping like at a wedding, that'd be the worst thing.
Wow. Be like,
Yeah.
these flowers are attacking us slowly.
Uh,
Oh, speak of the devil, it's Ari. Ari,
what's
Jacob,
up,
we're gonna
Ari?
start a Taylor Lorenz support group for both of you.
For Ari, I mean, again, I got a couple of hippie, and that's nothing. But what she did with Ari, I mean, God, that's. I'm glad Ari, if anyone, is fighting back, because not many people have fought back against people like Taylor Lorenz. So I applaud her in that move.
I'll send you a link, Ari, if you want to jump on and commiserate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Wow. She's a blast. She was a delight. I met her for the first time at the Minds event that I hosted at the Beacon Theater back in June. And it was like Tim Pool was there, James O'Keefe, Zuby, a lot of fun internet people. And then she came to my content house, stole the show, was running around in a bathing suit, running around in a cat costume. She really understood the assignment.
That's what you need. You need somebody to bring in the eyes. That's how it is.
Yes. Yeah. She knew what we were there to do.
Hell yeah. Well, I thought, man, the next time was so Geeks and Gamers. Everybody comes through Tennessee every now and then. They go to Nashville. I thought, man, I'm only an hour out of Nashville, so I might go to that next time.
Yeah. I think I went to, it was no, it wasn't a convention. I went to a medical freedom convention in Nashville, and that's where I met Yellow Flash. They were there seeing, I think, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
He and Anna and Cecil and Peaches were all out there.
I can't remember. I had something come up. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but
I was staying at the Gaylord Opryland. You ever go there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the best. I'm obsessed. Plus, it's fun to say.
There's that whole area. I mean, it's nice. They have one of that Opry Mills Mall and everything that's built up around with Gaylord, Opryland, all of that. My God, like they have one of the few.
Are you familiar with the Gaylords? I feel like they own that town.
I don't know them, but yes, they own a lot. They own quite a bit.
Keeping it gay. That's fun.
What names? Are you familiar with your gay lords?
Oh my God. All right. Here is the latest with Biden. I'm worried she's not going to come home one of these days. Biden jokes at Tribal Summit that Jill might abandon him and move to a reservation. This is today. But Biden made the remark at a tribal nation summit. First Lady Jill Biden has made multiple trips to tribal nations. Biden brought up her efforts. I hear more about the Navajos than I hear about me.
I
Maybe
never
because he
realized
forgets who he is.
when we had DCS come out. I didn't realize, for my great grandmother was Native American, so I always check the Native American box.
Oh,
just
wow. You a real
yeah,
one, an actual Native
yeah.
American here.
So, but I found out when when I talked to my lawyer about all the stuff going on, he was like, "Yeah, we got to meet with them, just to declare everything. They got to see the kids for a minute, just to debunk anything that was said. And it's in a controlled environment." And he's like, "It'll be real easy." Unless you check Native American, there's something there. And I was like, well, actually, I do. So, yeah, apparently, if you are Native American, now we don't fall under tribal rule or anything, but apparently, your CPS can't really mess with you if you're if you're under tribal authority. So
That's great. What a great perk.
yeah. So
Plus, you
I
can
was like,
handle
well, I wish I
alcohol
had that.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. There's definite downsides. They definitely earned that right. So.
Let's see. President Joe Biden joked about, first of all, I have to address this. I cracked up so much when I saw this in the chat. From Yusuf Ekholm, toss out Chrissy. She is boring. I'm not sure if Yusuf understands how YouTube works. When you host a show, you can't really. Let's see. Could I throw myself out? Let's see.
You
Let's see how.
you can actually. You
Let's
can
see.
if you're
I
using
am.
StreamYards. Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, see, she can ha ha ha. Now I can't control anything here, but yeah, you can kick yourself out of the stream. I do this all the time. I boom her up. That's how I know you can. Yeah, so what can we do? What can I say to get our channel canceled? Oh, wait, you're back.
What an idiot. You're an idiot. Oh, but thank you for the laugh.
No, I boom her up and kick myself out of my own. But before StreamYards was here, when you used to have to do it the old way, if you kicked yourself out, it would end your stream. But now, yeah, if you get disconnected, your stream still goes. So remember that if you ever have a power outage or anything, your stream's still going.
It's happened. Before I had this plug into the wall Wi-Fi, I would drop all the time, and it gave me such anxiety because I'd have like a really like top-notch guest or like kind of like a Sebastian Gorka or a Roger Stone or something, and the whole time I'd be like just praying to God, like, please Wi-Fi, just hold up for 1 hour, please, just don't make me look like a fucking retard.
Mine does that sometimes. I was interviewing with a drunk 3PO. We were goofing off, and and I was like, oh my God, he kept messing up on me. I was like, no.
Oh my God. Well, this is so exciting. Okay. We'll see. What are you going to cover next? What are you excited about? I guess other than the Amber Heard appeal.
I mean, I'm still watching. I'm watching how the Marilyn Manson case is developing. I'm curious about how that'll go. I mean, there's a lot of Hollywood cases that are lined up. So we'll see. I'm curious what'll happen with the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie accusations. That, Lord, if we could, oh God, I hope even a piece of that would be televised. That would be the biggest thing we've ever seen,
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, what are they doing?
They've had the longest divorce case ever. So it is still, in Hollywood, rather, not ever, but in Hollywood, they have had the longest going. And there are some horrible accusations that have been thrown around there with Brad Pitt. And yeah, it looks like it may come to a head soon. They may actually have something come up with it. Yeah.
Okay. Marilyn Manson's sexual assault case winding down charges. Unlikely, says TMZ. But this is as of
that's
May.
one of many. So Marilyn Manson was accused of his ex, Evan Rachel Wood. Now, again, I have not done all my due diligence on that, but there
From
are
Westworld.
definite.
Yeah.
I mean, she's lied about some things for sure. Now, I can't say, I can't say I for 100% sure go one way or the other with guilt or not, but she definitely lied about some stuff. So I'm curious. But it burned his life down right when it came up. Bam, he was done.
Really? He's really done?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was too big for that.
No, it cost him his contract as far as music is concerned. It cost him. He was going to do a Creep Show at the time when that came up. I mean, it destroyed him. It's the same thing with Depp. You would think that accusations couldn't destroy someone like him, but it froze him out for years. I mean, it cost. Your name is big enough. The things that used to make Marilyn Manson uncancelable back in the 90s and the aughts, now they make you cancelable. So it's kind of fascinating.
Right. This was, I think, Evan Rachel Wood's tweet. The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I'm done living in fear of retaliation, slander, or blackmail. I'm here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, when she put that out there too, and you know, she's talked to Congress. I mean, she's talked about her abuser in that situation. Marilyn Manson, though, some of the stuff that happened with him. You had government officials sounding off. You had people in higher levels of law enforcement. You know, he was being investigated. I mean, it was insane to see how that popped off.
Jesus. Yeah, he was visited by the man. This stuff, it's really incredible. Like the power, someone can just ruin your life. Do you see this letting up anytime soon? No, not even in the post Me Too, slightly getting less woke era.
No, because the people, okay, like after Johnny Depp's decision for 6 months now, we've had the mainstream media had just piled on. You know, they talk about misogyny. Today I read an article talking about how females were the new leaders in the misogynistic movement against women. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. How does that work again? But
the future is female. And
yeah, apparently you can be a leader of men in misogyny. That's amazing. It's very diverse.
Right. And well, look at freaking Ghislaine Maxwell. Nothing's happening to her.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
well,
saying like a bird. Yeah. You
have God, I can't think of her name. The huge scammer that was just tried. I can't think of a freaking name. She had the big medical firm. Anyway, every time they bring her up, you know, and her getting taken down, they talk about sexism. They're like, well, the real reason that she got called out isn't because of this giant scam she did. It's because sexists.
Or it's because of Taylor Lorenz. Here's Ari Jacob.
What's up, Ari?
What's up? I don't think I've ever gotten to talk to Tug live on a.
I know. We need to go over.
Doesn't he have a great voice?
I love his voice. Sometimes I honestly like fall asleep to him talking, and I don't have bad dreams. So that's how I know if like someone's good to fall asleep to.
I've done that too.
That's hilarious. I have people in the chats that tell me that at night. They're like, yeah, you know, that's what I go to sleep by. I'm like, well, that's good and bad, I guess. It's good I secure that viewer all night though. That's awesome.
So yeah.
I heard you guys talking about Marilyn Manson. I'm working with Rose McGowan in January. She's gonna come out to Vegas and we're gonna work on a project. So it'll be interesting to hear her perspective.
Did she date him, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she didn't have any kind of abuse claims for him?
No.
Did she? Okay.
She came out in support of him actually, which was fascinating because I mean she was one of the loudest voices in the Me Too movement.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people took advantage of her story, that situation. They kind of all grifted off of even the New York Times, the people that did that movie, they kind of offered her, I think, an amount that was like, what's the word? Like when it's just not even worth your time. It was almost like insulting how low they were going to pay her, you know, compared to what typically these people get paid. So
what movie was this?
There's a movie about the two New York Times journalists that like broke the story or something.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Tug?
Not really. I can't place
coming out, or I'm not sure.
I'll look it up though.
But yeah, it was about the whole Me Too movement.
Wow. Yeah, that's okay. This is from Mark Martin. Hey, Chrissy Tug, I never knew what was your take on the Balenciaga incident. Oh, I've talked about this on the last couple of morning shows, but I think it's bullshit. I think they're throwing the designer or the production crew or whoever under the bus so that the company itself doesn't have to take the blame for putting through these like disgusting campaigns. I don't buy that the company had no idea what was happening. Like they must have known every step of the way.
There's no way. There's no way they didn't know. No way. I just can't. I can't imagine.
They can't risk that. They can't risk not knowing what's being put out. So it's just gross. I think they only responded because there was such an outrage on social media. And I think all these fucking gross designers, they're all trying to one up each other and be the edgiest. And most of them are French and disgusting. The French people are disgusting people. Yeah, I just think it's gross.
Your French viewership just went.
Right. You know what? There's 20 of them. I've never met a French person that didn't fucking gross me out.
Is it true that the parent company of Balenciaga is the husband of Salma Hayek? I read that this morning. And he also owns Christie's.
Parent company of Balenciaga.
See if they're attached to Salma Hayek. Yeah, it's really weird. They were showing like a bunch of really crazy stuff posted on the Christie's website. It's like a art.
Yeah, Balenciaga parent company, CEO wife Salma Hayek silent on controversy. Okay, I'll pull this up.
It's so interesting how Hollywood is all interconnected and you typically don't even know. And then whoever reps these people, there's all these silent connections that link everybody together.
They're all in it together, and the amount of celebrities that like are so involved with Balenciaga and they're all silent. Even Kim Kardashian like putting out a statement. It was barely a statement. It was like a placeholder. It's just, I'm gonna reevaluate. It's like that's not shit. That doesn't mean anything. Nicole Kidman's in on it. I think Gigi Hadid, Kanye was until they dropped him. I said Nicole Kidman. It's just so many. I think maybe it's Cara Delevingne as well.
Most of these places, well, they're afraid to speak out about, having it hits you in the wallet, but still, man, some places putting out virtual child porn, essentially. Yeah, fuck them. I'll take the hit to my wallet.
Yeah. Let's just read through this. Her husband, French. Francois Henri Pinault have remained silent on the uproar over luxury fashion brand. This is like when I got on my rant about teachers and I just was like angry about it for a week. I'm about to be that with French people right now. Controversial campaign despite Pinault's position as CEO of the brand's parent company. Shocking photos from one of the Balenciaga campaigns showed children alongside stuffed animals. We know all about that. Plus the Supreme Court papers about the CP case. Oh, I wonder why she's being silent on it. Pinault serves as CEO of, Keurig. I kept saying Keurig, but that's the coffee cups. It's the coffee pots, little K-cups. Keurig, not Keurig. He and Hayek have attended Balenciaga fashion shows, and Hayek has promoted the brand's fashion on her social media pages. However, the pair have so far remained mum. Surprise, surprise. They're just hoping it goes away.
Yep, shocking.
Bella Hadid, Nicole Kidman, all silent. Kim Kardashian said, "Oh, I'm a mom. I'm going to reevaluate," which is bullshit. It's nothing. Again, her fans were just pressuring her to say something, so she said nothing.
Well, I don't even think you can show this because I just looked it up, but the Christie's website has, which apparently is also owned by the same guy that's married to Salma Hayek, has an artist listed on the site with all these sculptures of what looks like kids. And instead of noses, they have like, what are they called? I mean, like a men's, like a penis, basically.
A penis? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm on the Christie's website right now.
What do you call those things?
Are you talking about on the auction page or on the
I'll send it to you, but I don't know, like on Reddit, it gives me like a not safe for work.
Damn.
I think
I'll send it to you.
I think it's funny you were trying to find a nice way to say penis.
I know. What do they call it? Eggplant. I was gonna say eggplant, like on the emoji.
Right. This month, there's a Chagall on auction. There's what else are they selling? Fine Chinese modern contemporary ink paintings. Sounds boring.
On where?
On the Christie's website.
Oh,
Like-
did you click on the link that I sent you?
Just
Oh,
looking
in
at
the
what I
chat.
want to buy in the auction. All right, let's go to the link.
I just want you to describe what I was trying to describe.
Okay. Can I show this?
I don't know.
Damn. Okay. This is
Christie's is like a
horrible.
high-end art website though, isn't it?
Oh my God. This is bad. Okay, so one is called Jake and Dinos Chapman. Literally the art piece, I guess, is called Fuck Face. I don't know if this is a photo. It looks like a photo. It looks like a doll, like a small porcelain doll, like maybe something your grandmother would have, but it's like the kid is wearing just like this orange t-shirt, no pants, purple sneakers, and then he's got this weird mouth that looks like just basically a hole, like not even human, and then the nose is a penis. Like that is
Like Pinocchio.
fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's messed up. Like,
And then they have a bunch of girls, like God, it's like a statue of a bunch of girls, like
that's what
there's
they're trying to
arms
do is they're
missing
trying to
and shit.
separate it and be like, well, this is art. Like the person, the stylist for the
This is
Balenciaga thing is like,
so
well, I have
icky.
different art views and the Balenciaga has nothing to do with that. And it's like, well, it's still kind of sick, twisted.
It's like body parts. It's like kind of like kids that look kind of undressed. It's not good. It's like a chess set of basically like naked people. This is twisted. This is like, and all these people are in with each other, like Marina Abramovic and the spirit cooking people. They all hang out with these celebrities. Like, there's so much disgusting shit in Hollywood.
Hollywood is filled with pedophiles. I mean, it's just it's scary.
Yeah, why would they fight for it so hard?
Did you guys talk about the FBX like Sam Bankman-Fried interview today at all? Did you guys see that?
No. We could get into that. Yeah, he said he only has $100,000 in his account right now.
I couldn't even watch. It was like making me so mad because, meanwhile, Taylor Lorenz and all her little cronies are criticizing Elon Musk and lying and saying that, Apple's going to take them off the App Store. And then Elon Musk tweets today and he's like, I talked to Tim Cook. That was a big misunderstanding. They were never going to take us off the App Store. And you have all this attention on Elon Musk and whatever and all these other things. But, Taylor Lorenz and all her little friends seem to go silent on this guy that literally lost billions of dollars and some people's life savings.
I find it fascinating that the media said pretty much nothing about him funneling dark money until they were like, oh, wait, Republicans. And I'm like, no, he funneled a lot of dark money to a lot of people. I noticed that you're only talking about one thing now when they could cover it.
Let's see. Yeah, he didn't intend. He didn't try to commit fraud. Oh, okay. Let's let him go then. Sam Bankman-Fried, founder and CEO of now bankrupt FTX, attempted to distance himself from the suggestion of fraud in his first public appearance since his company's collapse, and has had no time to get himself a haircut, unfortunately.
Can't afford it anymore.
Can't afford it now. Speaking at the New York Times Deal Book Summit with Andrew Ross Sorkin at what he said was against the advice of his lawyers, Bankman-Fried said that he did not knowingly commingle customer commingle? Is this a word? Am I retarded?
Commingle. Yeah, commingle.
Oh, commingle, of course. Customer funds with FTX with funds at his proprietary trading firm, Alameda Research. The liquidity crunch at FTX came after Bankman-Fried secretly moved $10 billion of FTX customer funds to Alameda Research, Reuters reported, citing two people familiar with the matter. At least $1 billion in customer funds had vanished. How does this happen? Is it laundering?
I mean,
it's a lot of fraud and BS. Well, there's a lot of BS in that market anyway. I mean, you see a lot of scamming, and this is just on a giant scale.
Wow.
Yeah.
FTX filed for bankruptcy, and Bankman-Fried stepped down as chief executive on November 11th after traders pulled $6 billion from the platform in 3 days, and rival exchange Binance abandoned a rescue deal. He looks retarded. By late
So
November 6th,
comfortable to watch him too, because he's like shaking the whole time. Like,
oh wow.
and he didn't even. He was supposed to be there, I thought, and then he's recording it from the Bahamas.
He was terrible in interviews when he was on the when he was riding
When things were
high, so I
good.
can only imagine, yeah, so I can imagine how bad he was in
He
this.
said he
ugh.
didn't ever try to commit fraud. He doesn't personally think he has any criminal liability. The real answer is that's not what I'm focusing on. There's going to be a time and place for that's what everyone else is focusing on, buddy. There's going to be a time and place for me to think about myself and my own future. And he's only 30 years old.
One of the funniest things from today was when he was talking about how he did an interview, I think for Vox, and he was like, he said something about, sort of donating, but like it was all just kind of a ploy to get himself in people's good graces, like not really because he cared about the causes. He was putting all this money that I guess wasn't his into all these, nonprofits and things like this. And they somebody caught him basically saying he was just doing it to make himself look good. And then today when he was getting interviewed, he said, well, to be fair, I don't know if he said to be fair, but he basically said, well, I thought I was talking to one of my really close friends. I forgot that he was also a reporter. And then you hear the crowd kind of like, it's almost like they felt sorry for him. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel sorry for you. First of all, are you an idiot? Like,
Jeez.
yeah.
Wow. How far can that excuse of like, oh, I wasn't trying to commit fraud. I mean, can that actually work?
It might, considering all the money he funneled to a lot of people in power. Yeah, it might work for him. You never know.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Did you see I tweeted a comparison of his article in the New York Times, which pretty much was like a fluff piece compared to the 3 pages they dedicated to me in the New York Times. Like just looking at it side by side, it's like, it's so crazy.
Okay, I'm
to me.
pulling this up. You put that in the chat. Let's see here.
They treated you like you were a monster. I mean, yeah. When I was like, holy crap.
Imagine being a bootstrapped founder, no investors, accused of verifiable lies across 3 pages in the New York Times by Taylor Lorenz, while FTX's SBF got a fluff piece across 2 pages in the New York Times after losing billions, including some people's life savings. So let's look at, wow, that's a tiny... That's not that much space. Okay, that's FTX.
And they go so easy on him. Like, oh, he was in over his head.
But wow, you're yeah, much more.
I wonder how much they got out of that Louis Vuitton ad.
Wow.
But you know what I mean? It's like, whatever, this is just a little comparison, but it just goes to show, like, if you have money, if I had donated to Taylor Lorenz's like long COVID fund, maybe she would have left me alone.
Or the New York Times.
Yeah. And then I added the Dave Portnoy posted, like, it's just so laughable. At the end of the interview with FTX guy, everybody starts clapping. Like, what?
Okay, wow.
Right now, I mean, look, I've had a bad month.
He's shaking.
I've had a bad month.
That's funny.
Well, at the end, he didn't show it. At the end, they start clapping. I'm like, what are they clapping for?
I mean, look, I've had a bad month.
So that's real?
Yeah.
Wow. Gross.
Oh. Yeah, I was having fun on Twitter today, looking all that stuff up.
Yeah, you had a good Twitter day. Head of risk management confirms that Ariel did help a lot. Is this for real?
Well, because his girlfriend was working at the hedge fund, I think, that he also owned, where they put a bunch of money. I don't understand that whole like Alameda thing, but she tweeted saying something about basically being addicted to Adderall. So then they made all of us with ADHD look like crackheads as well.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry.
Making us all look bad.
She was tweeting about, using cocaine and other stuff before all this happened. So, yeah. So, yeah.
From Ghetto Jaga. Don't forget to have Tug shill his comic book. Do you have a comic book?
I do. We're on our 3rd comic book. Yeah.
That's
we
cool.
Ooh, what's it called?
It's called Hunt the Littlest Umbrella. I make comics. Obviously, I make comics with a team, but since I have 2 daughters, my daughter has a online avatar. You know, she'll pop in every now and then. She's the little umbrella girl, and
Aw.
we made a comic. You know, we do like a kids style
Aw.
detective noir. Yeah. Hey there.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
how
so cool.
cute.
Little Umbrella Girl are back, following up their smash hit for a 3rd comic adventure,
Aw.
Hunt
That's
the
so
Littlest
cute.
Umbrella. We're talking 40 pages of all ages, classic horror goodness with humor, and yeah, a little bit of Lovecraftian goodness sprinkled on top. Yeah, so
That's so cute.
yeah, it's fun to do.
How old is she?
She is now 9. So
Aw. I know. I saw you had tweeted a picture of her, like, I think it was like drawing something, or she had like a Batman. I forget what it was. It was
oh
so
yeah,
cute.
yeah. That was that was with our first comic. We went to Anime Matsuri, and she was like, "I got to sign some cards for my fans," and she was
Oh,
Oh yeah.
she was like 5, so her signature is the letter
Aw.
E and a little heart. You know. Yeah, she's been, you know, she grew up around this. Like my kids have grown up around this stuff, but it's such a weird place. Like I was good with my daughter. Like coming in, she would like she wanted to tell little stories and stuff. You know, I mean, like a little
That's
kid.
really
She
Oh
cool.
yeah,
enjoys
that's the one
attention.
I saw. It's so cute.
Yeah, unfortunately, now she can read the comments in chat, so I have to be careful.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, our chat is actually
Aw.
the people that are always there. They're great. I mean, they're awesome. But you get the weirdos from the other side of that. You know that they'll do anything to be disruptive. So
Oh
have
yeah.
to watch them. But I mean, it's
Uh,
fun, and she I don't know. We get to make comics together. I think it's awesome. I think it's fun to
It's really
be
sweet.
able to do that. Yeah.
From Dustman, Rose seems like the only person who truly believed in the original message of Me Too and isn't just using it for clout. I agree.
I
Yeah.
agree too. And she got smeared so bad, and a lot of people in Hollywood kind of blacklisted her. I mean, I think she was also rightfully like she was just angry about a lot of things, and you just like didn't know who to trust. And when you get into that like state of mind, some people that maybe like have nothing against you, like might feel slighted because you're acting a certain way. But I just feel like people need to have empathy for people that have experienced like really bad trauma. So
Yeah.
They also had, you know, the hustlers like Asia Argento, for example, you know, people with their own baggage of exploiting people. They got involved, and everybody started looking at everyone involved saying, I can't trust any of these people, you know, and it's unfortunate because, like you said, there are people that have actually been victimized. There are survivors that are coming out, and I mean, Hollywood is rife with abusers. So
I think the craziest part about the Rose thing, maybe I'm guessing a lot of people don't know about it, is how they had intelligence people, I think Israeli, like they called like Mossad agents or something, that were infiltrating her like victim groups to befriend her. Like a woman was befriending her to try to see what information she had on Harvey and what she was going to put in her book.
Whoa.
Imagine the level. Of course you're going to be. And then at the same time, people are telling her she's a conspiracy theorist and she's crazy. And meanwhile, she has people infiltrating that are professional spies, basically. I mean, of course you're going to go crazy. You know?
That's disgusting. Wow, how manipulative.
And it's hard because you don't know who to trust at that point. And so
Yeah.
you know, I've been in that situation where I'm like, I feel like I'm going a little crazy. Like I don't know who's against me and who's not.
From Mark Martin. Speaking of the French, they were the ones that pushed cuties. See? The French are fucking gross. Chen Li Hale, I think the movie was called She Said, flopped harder than some
Yeah.
athletes. Thank you, Chen Li. Did you have something on that?
Oh no. I was gonna ask Tug. Go ahead. I was gonna ask him about something tweeted.
From Edward Preeter, the Chapman brothers were also obsessed with Nazism and the Holocaust. They defaced Hitler's original watercolors and Goya's etchings, and you should check out their massive diorama. Fucking hell. Okay. Wow. Okay. I don't know if I will, but thank you.
I was gonna ask Tug about. Did you guys talk about the Danny Masterson trial? I saw you.
No, not yet.
No,
That was
I
something
saw that
bring up.
just popped up today.
Yeah, mistrial. So he's scheduled for a March 29th retrial. Yeah, the breakdown I thought was fascinating. Like I've been reading some of the statements. Again, you lose the nuance to it. I like to
It's not
see.
televised.
Yeah, it's not televised. Like you typically won't have something like that televised. And I wish every trial was televised. Some people say that, oh, that's inconsiderate, because we're talking about sexual victims. Okay, well, the media has access. Everybody can get in. It's just most of us can't go. We have somebody telling us what's happening there instead of seeing it ourselves. But yeah, the breakdown, you had 3 accusers of his. They had a mistrial. The first, the jury split 2 guilty to 10 not guilty for the first accuser. The second had a 4 to 8 split, guilty to not guilty, and the third had a 5 to 7 guilty to not guilty. So,
wow. Yeah, I find the jurors hopelessly deadlocked, the judge declared, after inquiring whether there was anything the court could do to move them closer to reaching a unanimous decision. New trial date will be March 27th, 23. Faces up to 45 years in prison if found guilty on one of the 3 counts of rapes by force or fear.
Yeah, I mean, he's facing real time for this stuff. So,
oof. And we don't know who the accusers are.
Yeah, now we know we actually don't have a lot of the story put in front of you, but there's a place. There's a guy on Substack named Tony Ortega, and he's covered that trial very well. So if people want to read a lot of what his accusers have said, they can actually come across it there.
Oh yeah, one was his longtime girlfriend, another a close friend, and the third was a new confidant.
Yeah, like I said, we don't.
They were all in Scientology.
Yes, it's the Scientology setup. When Scientology comes up, everybody's like, "Oh God, no!" They're so bad.
I will say, so when I worked in the nightlife industry, I was a VIP host, and Danny Masterson came in for his birthday one time. I want to say this was 2010, and I was the host, and Ashton Kutcher came, and it was really funny because I think they were on a good one in terms of I don't know what they were on or whatever, but they were on a good one when they got there. I want to say that Danny maybe was even married, or is he married right now?
Oh God.
Or he had a girlfriend or something. I don't remember.
Not anymore.
They came in and they it was so funny because Ashton Kutcher was he was dating Demi Moore, and he's like, oh hey, we're all having a really good time. They were staying at the Hard Rock, and at the Hard Rock in San Diego, there's some suites that have a hot tub, like a jacuzzi right on the balcony. And so he's like, can you bring over some girls that are hot tub worthy? And I'm laughing because it's not LA. I feel like in LA they're used to really kind of the models that are not even enjoying the table. They're just filming themselves on their phone. But in San Diego, it's fun girls. It's college girls that don't get to see celebrities a lot. So, but maybe not as tens models, just pretty girls in San Diego. A lot of them are very pretty, but anyway,
a good 6, maybe a healthy 6.
Yeah, a healthy 8 or 9, but not
a good sturdy 5. Yeah.
He's married to
that. I kept bringing girls over. And I told him, I said, if you want me to take the girls away, if they're not hot enough for you, or you want me to take them away, just go like this, tap on your forehead. And if you like them, just smile at me. And so I kept bringing cute girls by. And Ashton Kutcher was doing this the whole time. He didn't like any of them.
He was trying to fuck with you, or he really didn't like them?
I know he really did. I took him away. Like I'd bring him by and then he'd be like this. And then I would just take him to the next table.
It's like, get it away.
And then it was
Wow.
so funny because I wake up like 2 days later and I see, on the cover of whatever it was, People magazine, or I don't remember what magazine it was. It's like, Ashton cheated with me in San Diego and this girl did the whole expose. And I was thinking to myself, you should have taken one of those girls that I brought by because those girls were vetted. I would have taken their phones away.
Oh, wow.
But they, I just remember them partying. And then I also remember, what was the other guy, Fez?
Yes.
Yeah.
They used to throw some crazy parties. Danny and what's the guy's Fez's real name?
I thought it was Fez.
Wilbur or something. I don't remember.
Wilbur Valderrama.
Valderrama.
Yeah.
And I was really young when I remember going to their parties, like maybe even before 2010. And I can imagine that so the people that they hung out with, I never saw Danny do anything or Wilmer, but the people that they hung out with were very, I would say, questionable. I wouldn't, if I had a 21-year-old, I wouldn't I would be like, you're not allowed to hang out with those people.
So drugs, just sus all around.
And guys that were taking advantage of the fact that their friends were celebrities and the girls wanted to be around celebrities. But I think there was who knows if there was people getting drugged and stuff, but I just remember. Yeah, I looking back on it, when I remember when this whole thing happened, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if this one was true. But
yeah. That's so interesting though that you have worked in that industry and you've seen some shit.
I mean, I typically don't call anybody out. I'm like, I want to be a vault, but in that scenario, I just hope that whatever happens, that justice happens. But it's interesting that it was a mistrial.
Yeah, well, those numbers, I mean, you can tell that they would have been hopelessly deadlocked. There's no way. If you have a half and half, I mean, he still had more saying not guilty than guilty. I'm just curious. The problem with accusations, when we read them, it'd be like the Heard case. When you saw her, everybody saw her, they're like, oh, this is bullshit. But if you just read those words, that would be some of the most horrific stuff imaginable. So, when I'm going through accusations, like I said, I would rather see these things live.
Yeah.
So it says here, Masterson's lawyers focused on revealing the inconsistencies in the stories of the three accusers told while they were on the stand. They claim the accusers changed their stories and also spoke with each other prior to speaking with the police. They did that rather than present a defense to the jury. So they were on the offensive.
Did a lot of time go by from when that happened, and then they reported it?
Seems like it, because going back to 2001. One of these accounts.
See, I just feel like I just hope that we get into a rhythm where women that experience these things, hopefully feel comfortable reporting them right away, so that
they do it faster than 20 years later.
Yeah.
A lot of people report it to social media before they report it to the police. And that is a huge problem. It's like you're saying there, it just, it's made this so backward. I mean, even people that have been victimized, they very much do. They go on social media first. And there are a lot of problems with law enforcement and the judicial system too. But the pendulum has swung so far the other way. I mean, we went from watching in New York. I remember there was a case where the New York Police Department burned 600 rape kits. They were so far behind, they decided to destroy them. So they destroyed 600 rape kits without testing them. And that's jacked up. That's not justice, but neither is, people going on social media and just saying this person is guilty and burning their life down.
Dustman said there were stories that Epstein was Mossad and using his island for compromising on powerful people. Yeah, I heard that too.
The other kind of, I mean, I don't know enough about the Masterson thing, but I wonder, like, the girlfriend thing is a little like, I don't know.
And they're all Scientology, and it's like
Scientology makes me red flag. Red flag, big red flag.
Yeah, no likey. Maybe he did something they didn't like, and they the Scientology people conspired against him using the X's.
I can't wait to see Shia LaBeouf. He's going to end up in court too.
He is?
Yeah. He's got a trial coming up next year. So.
And he did like a long interview recently.
Oh yeah, and he admitted some things he shouldn't have. Like he admitted, like he put his hands on her for sure. He denies that he did all the things she said, but he admitted that he abused her. He admitted it a few times. There are a lot of people that were like, "Oh well, he's trying to find his way and this and that." I was like, he's still. Yeah, he's doing that while he's saying, I didn't do this shit in the courtroom, but he's saying in interviews, well, I did some of this stuff.
Oh, man. From Heather Bow, I should have added secondary charges. A lot of time has passed.
Oh, did you guys, what do you guys think about the Casey Anthony thing? Tug, did you seen that?
Oh, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm trying to motivate myself to watch it because I don't think it'll probably irritate me a lot.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I could watch it, but I've watched like episodes on just the history of the case.
Yeah, I watched the case. I watched the trial because it was so big back when. Yeah, I watched it actually. Everybody was watching it back when, I remember. And it was something. She's guilty. She's 100% guilty. The prosecution.
She went clubbing after.
Yeah. She was doing all kinds of things, but the prosecution really messed up. They brought in things like they were trying to bring in new technology. Like, hey, we have this thing that it can test decay or the smell of decay in a trunk.
Oh yeah, chloroform or something.
Yeah, and it confused the jury. So the jury, they let her go, and you could tell it was going to be a problem, but she was guilty. She was very much guilty.
Wait, what about she said that the kid was with Zanny the nanny and like
Zanny.
So disturbing.
But now, like, I wonder if the dad is going to sue her for defamation.
Oh, right, because she claims her dad like sexually abused her.
And that the dad, like, I think she accuses the dad of being there when her kid died and then like covering it up. And I think the dad was like a cop or something.
That's icky. Gonna be interesting.
It's crazy how many like of these types of people there are out there. I mean, imagine how many there are not committing murder and crimes.
It feels like a huge accomplishment to just not like date or marry a person who ends up like this. Like, just find someone who isn't fucking crazy. Oh my God, you guys, this was awesome. Ari, thank you so much for jumping on. This was so delightful. This could be the first meeting of the Taylor Lorenz support group, informally.
Get you some libs of TikTok in there for sure.
To clarify, I was referring to messaging. Oh yeah. Okay. Ari, where can people find you? What's coming up? What's going on?
Little Miss Jacob everywhere. If you want to see me ranting about Taylor, go on TikTok or Twitter. Everything else, I'm pretty tame on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll tap out. Thanks, you guys.
Oh, and thank you to Umbrella Guy. Where can people follow you?
Yeah, you can find my channel. Find me on Twitter. Yeah, I'm easy to find. So
and buy his comic book.
Yes.
Hunt the Littlest Umbrella on Indiegogo.com. Check it out. This was fun. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat for your comments and questions. Even the guy who told me to kick myself out of my own show. You guys, you keep me on my toes. Love you guys. Love you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.